What's up, you guys? So in this video, I'm going to show you the Claude skill I built that scans a website, flags every pattern that screams AI generated, and then rewrites the page live in front of you. Today, I'm showing off this new skill live on camera, and I'm going to do it on a real page that we just built start to finish, so you can see exactly what the fix looks like before and after. I'm also using a new tool today with Hostinger Horizons, which is an AI development tool for WordPress users, so hang tight as we redefine around 15 years worth of open source development. Welcome back to the Digital Growth Stage channel. My name is John, and on this channel, we cover local SEO, web design, and lead generation for Bay Area service businesses. We keep it practical enough that you can apply it without a full marketing team, so stick around because I'm going to be walking you through this whole thing. So here's what's interesting about Claude MCP and WordPress that nobody's actually saying out loud. This isn't necessarily a developer tool. It's also a ranking tool. And when I say Claude MCP into WordPress, here's what that actually means in plain language. Claude has a direct read-write connection to your website, not a plugin syncing once a day, a live connection. And so if you go into your Claude settings and then go over to connectors, you should be able to find a WordPress asset and then link directly straight to it. And so Claude can read a page, rewrite a section, update a title tag, add a new service area paragraph, and publish without you needing to touch your back end. You can find this once you purchase Claude Code in the connector section. So why does that matter for an accountant or an attorney or professional business? It's because Google measures freshness. A page last updated 8 months ago is a page Google deprioritized. A page getting updated regularly with new service language, new location references, new trust signals, that's a page that Google keeps coming back to. And the Claude MCP into WordPress is a velocity unlock. And so here's the other thing. The second a prospect lands on your website and something feels like templated-ish, the generic hero, the stock photos, the "we are passionate about serving our clients" opener, you've already lost them. They came in curious, they wanted to know whether or not they were your ideal customer within the first 3 seconds. And if they couldn't find that out, they leave. And that's exactly what our new skill today, Unslop UI, was built to catch. And so quick note, everything I'm showing you today, I actually use. If it's in this video, it's in production or close enough that I can show you real results. I'm not walking you through something that I haven't shipped. And so before we touch the build, I want to show you something that validates why this entire approach works. This is Dakota RV Parks. This is a free utility over in North and South Dakota. It's built by me. It's a hobbyist build, and so there's no money changing hands. But if you look at the record count, we have nearly 30 active account users and 2,300 listings. And so there's real data, it's organized, it's searchable, and we're not ranking because of domain authority or backlinks. We're ranking because Google found a site with specific location relevant data that helped real people find what they were looking for. And so here's the actual numbers that tell that story. Okay, so this is the Google Search Console. We can look at the specific queries that are driving traffic, like city-specific pages, North Dakota RV parks near Bismarck, South Dakota campgrounds near Rapid City. Google is sending people to the exact page that answers the exact question they typed. And so that's the model. For your professional service website, a page for tax preparation San Francisco outranks a homepage that mentions San Francisco 3 times. A page for DUI attorney Oakland, free consultation, will outrank a generic attorney page every time. And so it's not tricks, it's just specificity. And so if your Google Search Console shows all clicks going to the home page, you have a page structure problem. There needs to be city-specific, service-specific pages, and those are what move the needle. So this is what that looks like in Google Search Console for us over 6 weeks after launch with 0 promotion. And so for today, what we're going to be doing is this workflow. We're going to build, audit, and fix. That order matters. We start in Hostinger Horizons, building out the initial page right there, and then that is going to be the initial AI-generated first draft. We're going to just move through that process fast to spin it up until it looks decent at first glance, and then it's going to have a few problems that we're going to talk about baked into it. And so after that, we're going to run the Claude Code prompt to fill in the content, the copy, the structure, the full page, and what comes out is what most people would ship. I'm sure to them it would look fine, and it's not fine. So then we're going to go to our Unslop UI. And this is kind of like what we're going to be looking for on the left. And so on the left-hand side, in terms of what Unslop UI searches for, it looks for generic heroes, stock photos, unimpactful CTAs, and then no privacy policies. And so if there's a hero blob that says transform your business today, 6 icons with 3-word captions, a trust bar full of logos that nobody asked for, it's going to flag and change all of that. And so it's checking for what's cosmetic versus conversion killing, and it outputs a different HTML file. And so here's what Unslop UI is going to replace. It's going to be specific inside of the hero sections. It's going to use real unsplash stock photos or copyright-free photos. It's going to have very specific and precise aligned CTAs, and then it's going to have a privacy policy and at least the basics for legalities inside of the footer. And so here's the build on camera. I am starting from this PDF, which is a lead magnet is pretty much a PDF for the top 5 sections that you would want to include on your homepage. It's downloadable. You can just send me a quick email and I'll shoot it over to you. But I use that as the core information and context along with a quick prompt. Now, I want to include this inside of a larger JSON file. That way I can take the entire pre-prompt and the information that's going to fill it inside of a single JSON and bring that over to Hostinger Horizon. So I'm going to look for a tax, let's go bookkeeping service Oakland, and we're going to use an example from this area. Let's go ahead and use you guys. It seems to be working. And let's see if we can get a home page here. No, we cannot. They're using a Google Websites. Not a lot here, not a lot to use, so we're not going to use that as an example. This isn't a website that's live. Okay guys, this is some real information on the types of competitors that are out there that are beating others. There's now 3 listings that I've seen in the top 10 on Google for bookkeeping services Oakland that don't even have a website available. That easy, guys, that easy. All right, so we're going to take this information, bring it back over to Claude Code, and please fill. Use this as the example. Pending info, please output to a single JSON file I can easily copy and paste. So we're going to wait for this prompt. We're going to take the output from this prompt and use it as an input for hosting our horizons. That will be our first version of this website. And then while this is building out that prompt, I'm actually going to create a secondary prompt. That way I can get a very specific hero background. Then create a landscape style. Awesome. Okay, and so we got the .md file. We're just going to bring that directly over hosting our horizons. And then we're going to go create that image and bring it over after we develop it inside of Groq. So we're going to close this out. We're going to use the same exact thread, since it has all of the context in here that we need to create an image that would be mapped to it, to just create the prompt that we're going to bring into Groq. Now, both the newest versions of Claude, ChatGPT, and Groq have incredible image visualization at the moment. My favorite is the one from Groq, and so that's the one that I'm consistently using. You chat, please visualize this. Cool. And so this is the image we're going to be using for today. We're going to rock back over to hosting horizons and then bring that image into the process. Okay. So now that this is ready, it has the entire JSON file that we created for the framework, as well as the corresponding information that we'll fill into it from the example website. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Okay. So it asked me a few clarifying questions around offer and scope, which I think is extremely helpful, as those are some of the key pivots that any website is going to need to make. And so we're just going to clarify those and then let it continue on. Has a few more questions. Let's go ahead and answer these questions as well. Okay, and so it's asking for exact prices and details. I love that. And I do the exact same thing when I'm working with a client. What this does is it creates precision around exactly what a customer sees when they're aiming to figure out whether or not this is an aligned fit with this business. And so getting these really detailed and dialed in is great. And so at the moment, it's enabling store integration now that it has enough information on whether or not this will be a point of sale website. So it's going through its planning agent and creating subscription tiers on our behalf. I don't fully know if this is tied up to WooCommerce or to Stripe yet, but if this is set up with WooCommerce, this is a really simple way for you to have the initial foundation laid before you go in and start dealing with the nitty-gritty behind e-commerce setup. Okay, and it switched screens on me. It's still selecting images. It's picking its own images, which is great. It's editing this data storage, which is also perfect. I didn't think that it would be this detailed in terms of depth. I didn't expect for the e-commerce availability to fire up. I did not expect for any kind of data storage to fire up as well. This is maybe the easiest way for you to get to build version 1. And then you can use what we're going to go through after this with AI slop detection to fix any of the UI or UX that needs some tidy until it looks cozy. So we're just going to wait a few more minutes here, and then we'll circle back with what this first version looked like. So I would actually say this is more similar to my onboarding as a human with my current clients than anything I would have ever expected. It goes over the onboarding flow, what assets currently are and aren't available, what descriptions for the services are and aren't available, pricing, and what are the specific offers for those sales and the caveats around them. Are they subscriptions? Are they one-time fees? Are you going to need this to be a point of sale? Or does the website act as your booking calendar and widget for sales enablement? All of these questions are asked before the build and the design. That way they can all be integrated into the final piece. And so I think we're about to get some feedback and what this actually looks like. All right, and now we are getting something live. So the background that we asked to be placed here is there. The name of the company is there. The overall design is overlapping the man's face on the right-hand side of this, which is causing a little bit of friction in terms of just reading this straight through. This entire area should be left aligned to the left over here, and that way this guy's face can really showcase in terms of presenting the picture. Have we landed at the right area to get our taxes done? This guy definitely fits the model. This needs to be centered, and this color coordination and combination looks horrible. It's horrendous. This is incredibly terrible contrast, and so this is really hard to see, which means that it probably wouldn't do for a contrast checker for ADA compliance, meaning people with special needs would be able to see this, and currently they can't. This is supposed to be an animation where red dots flow from the left over to this middle area and then continue flowing green once they're on the other side. A lot of errors here, a lot of contrast errors. However, the sections that I asked for are all here. And so the 5 main sections of hero, the benefits, your testimonials, your FAQ, and a small buzz bar that kind of shows who you worked with and why people should trust you, they're all here. However, the actual website itself and the color combination of everything looks extremely terrible. So let's go ahead and move into the second part of this. What I'm going to need is a screenshot of the entire page. I'm using Go Full Page plugin on Chrome. And so it's a one-clicker. I can get this entire page as a single PNG and then use this once I download inside of my Claude Code session. So I'm just going to bring that over real quick. That way you can see it. We've already integrated the Unslop UI. And just to give you an understanding of what Unslop is, UI GitHub repo. Awesome. And so this is the GitHub for Unslop. It says that it empirically detect the repetitive defaults that a model falls back on, and then turn those findings into a instruction file that makes future outputs less generic. And so in a previous episode or in a previous video, I went over my AI operating system that has a base in Claude Code and the Anthropic API. Now what I'm able to do is use one of these agent threads to download the GitHub, and all I said was go find this GitHub and grab it for us so that we can use it as a skill on this desktop, please. Claude Code figured out everything it needed to, downloaded the skill, and then implemented it into my AI operating system. That way we can move on to this next step. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the screenshot. And so the screenshot captured. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the Unslop UI skill on this screenshot of a home page. I'm going to pass you the original code base, and you will redesign and then output to our desktop to test in Chrome browser. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab that code base, code, all files, export code. Awesome. And so now we're going to get the entire export from this website. That way Unslop can look through the entire code base as needed. I'm just going to go ahead and extract all, extract, and then include that file system in this newest request inside of my AI operating system. So upload, and then that folder, everything in this folder, open. Cool. Here is everything you need attached. All right, and so Unslop UI doesn't just flag all of the issues that it finds, it scores them. It does this cosmetic versus conversion killing, like way, and then it outputs a different HTML. And so it says, this is bad, here's what to replace it with. And we're gonna go ahead and get that fix here in a few minutes. I already took the screenshot of the page we built. We're gonna run it through Unslop UI repo, and then it comes back flagging the hero copy, the featured grid, the call to actions. I fed these flags into Claude Code, and it generates a new HTML, and that file is going to land straight onto our desktop from the AI operating system. We're then going to open it in Chrome and take a look at the real proof underneath the hood. Okay, just made a quick caveat to make sure that image that we had created earlier from Groq is available on this desktop, and VS Code and Anthropic or Claude has the file path inside of my downloads to that image. That way it can use it within the HTML it's going to develop for our desktop to test out on Chrome. And if that file path isn't there, we won't be able to use it inside of these tests. So I just wanted to make sure to give that quick information. That way I started with a quick test, and so we're still just waiting patiently. It's been about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, and so we got the file that we are looking for. Just want to remember real quick that even though we've only gone over these top 4 areas that the Unslop UI is going to be looking for, it actually searches for 12 different patterns that kill trust and confidence with your users. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this built out. Okay, so we have a half-styled hero section with the right hand split in half as well. That way we can see the overarching image of the person on the right with the, I would say, buzzbar section here that increases customer confidence. We can see that this is for the user who showed up, and they can tell that it's for them within the first 90 seconds. This area down here already looks better, but it's still not centered. And so at a glance, we can see that this has gone leagues in terms of the contrast, the framing, the layout, styles and fonts, as well as even colors. And so the Unslop UI has flagged multiple things on every single section and has updated every single one of them automatically for us, which is incredible. It's even given us this section down here for the with and without E&E tax planning and what that means for your business. So good. It shows the benefits section in a much more structured and aligned way that has a brand kit that we can rely on and has components that are utilized in the same fashion throughout this page, which is one of the hallmarks of systems design. And so each one of these sections is numbered and looks beautiful. And so there's an amazing CTA at the bottom, and overall this entire layout just It speaks to the ideal customer that would be showing up to a page like this, and make sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that doesn't include AI slop. And this is going to allow you to build more effectively with more pages at a higher velocity that you're going to be confident bringing to the market. And so this is worth saying. Everything in this workflow is built on Claude Code connected to WordPress for production. Hosting or Horizons kind of gets you that first draft. And then Claude Code and the Unslop UI GitHub are how you make something worth publishing. And so you're going to own the HTML, you control every edit, and none of this requires you actually touching the back end. You can literally go back to the plugin that I showed you earlier for Go Full Page, take a screenshot of this page, go back to Hosting or Horizons and upload the new vision for this homepage. Since Hosting or Horizons already built out the infrastructure underneath it, you can then pass this new user experience to the front end of that full stack, and you can keep iterating from there. So I hope this is helpful. I just want to recap real quick. Claude MCP into WordPress is a velocity unlock. You get to make new builds and new updates in a fraction of the time of what it traditionally used to take, and you can have more freshness on your website without needing to touch your back end. The Unslop UI catches up to 12 different patterns that kill trust before a visitor reads a single word. And so having that there as the infrastructure that helps build confidence is huge. Today's workflow is built on Hosting or Horizons. Big shout out to Hostinger. The audit, it was with the GitHub repo Unslop UI, and then we fixed everything with Claude Code, and then we viewed it in Google Chrome. And so the order matters in terms of how you iterate. The results really only come after all three are handled in this chronological order. First you build, then you flag, and then you reiterate. And so everything I find in the field, from tools to frameworks and what's actually ranking, goes straight into our newsletter. The link is in the description. It takes 10 seconds to sign up, and that's all I got to report for now. I will see you guys in the next one.